opening music and sound effects. Shining Boss. Hello, and welcome to Why This a Debate reality show. Today, we're talking about an issue that's been making waves in the gaming industry. The trend of small gaming companies stealing ideas from popular gaming companies to create copies of popular games. Is this trend affecting the original games, and what do gamers and gaming experts think about this concern? Joining us to discuss this issue are two experts in the gaming industry, John and Sarah. Welcome to the show. Sound of applause. Shining Boss. So, John, let's start with you. What is your take on this issue of small gaming companies stealing ideas from popular gaming companies to create copies of popular games? John, thanks for having me on the show. Well, in my opinion, this is a serious problem for the gaming industry. The gaming industry is built on innovation and creativity. The idea of stealing someone else's ideas to create a copy of a popular game is not only unethical, but it's also harmful to the original game and the gaming industry as a whole. Shining Boss. Sarah, what's your perspective on this? Sarah, thanks for having me on the show. I see where John is coming from, but I also think that there's a place for copycat games in the gaming industry. Often, popular games are not available on all platforms, and smaller companies can provide gamers with access to those games on different platforms. Shining Boss. John, do you think that copycat games are affecting the sales of original games? John, absolutely. When people can get a similar gaming experience for a fraction of the cost, why would they pay for the original game? It's not fair to the developers who have invested so much time, effort, and resources into creating the original game. Shining Boss. Sarah, do you agree with John on this? Sarah, I think it depends on the situation. If the copycat game is a direct clone of the original game, then it's definitely affecting the sales of the original game. However, if the copycat game is different enough from the original game, then it's not necessarily taking away from the original game's sales. Shining Boss. That's an interesting point, Sarah. John, what do you think can be done to prevent small gaming companies from stealing ideas from popular gaming companies? John, I think that the gaming industry needs to do a better job of protecting intellectual property. Developers should have the right to protect their ideas, and there should be consequences for companies that steal those ideas. Shining Boss. Sarah, what's your take on this? Sarah, I agree with John that intellectual property should be protected, but I also think that the gaming industry should be more open to sharing ideas and collaborating. If smaller gaming companies had access to the same resources and expertise as larger gaming companies, they wouldn't need to steal ideas to create their own games. Shining Boss. It seems like there are different perspectives on this issue. Before we wrap up, I'd like to hear from both of you on what you think the future of the gaming industry looks like in light of this trend of copycat games. John, I think that if the trend of copycat games continues, it could have a negative impact on the gaming industry. People might become disillusioned with the industry if they feel that there's no originality or creativity. However, I'm hopeful that the industry will take steps to protect intellectual property and encourage innovation. Sarah, I agree that the industry needs to protect intellectual property, but I also think that there's a lot of potential for innovation and creativity in the gaming industry. With new technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality, there's a lot of room for new ideas and experiences. Shining Boss. Well, that's all the time we have for today.